The tiger. Feared, revered, and hunted to the very brink of extinction. Within 20 years, wild tigers may be gone forever, but there could be a last chance to save them. Now, an international team of scientists,
Wow!
explorers, and filmmakers has come to the Himalayas to search for a hidden population.
Our job is to find out if there are tigers here, if there are, how they're doing, because tiger conservation worldwide is in a critical condition.
This mission will push the team to the limit. They'll take on the world's most challenging mountains.
My lungs are burning. My legs are burning.
Face the planet's most extreme weather.
Jeez.
And explore the mightiest rivers. What they find here will be crucial. For the tiger, it's a matter of survival. For the team, it could be the discovery of a lifetime. The team has traveled to the Himalayas, to the remote mountain kingdom of Bhutan. It's been closed to outsiders for decades. Almost nothing is known about tigers here. The team must find out whether there's just a handful or a thriving population. In charge of the expedition is one of the world's leading tiger experts, Dr. Alan Rabinovitz.
This expedition is one of the first, if not the first, outside attempts to figure out what is happening in here with the tiger, with other wildlife that the tiger needs to survive, and perhaps, just perhaps, this vast land, this lost land of the tiger, could be the tiger's last hope.
Joining Alan are biologist Dr. George McGavin and explorer and naturalist Steve Backshall.
It's just perfect, absolutely perfect tiger habitat. Probably could do with a little bit more open kind of areas to stand any chance of seeing them. They're fantastically difficult to actually get a sighting of.
I love that feeling you get in a country for the first time, and you get that smell, you can smell it.
This riverbank will be the expedition headquarters for the next 3 weeks. The rugged terrain will make wildlife exceptionally difficult to find. They've brought the latest technology for filming and surveillance.
About half of it. Alan Carter,
it's my pleasure.
in charge of the camp.
Thank you.
Steve is optimistic.
Tigers need three things. They need an abundant source of large prey, they need dense vegetation, and they need water. And here, you've got all three of them.
It may look good, but tigers are now so rare, there's no guarantee they'll find them. The team has its work cut out. Even expert tracker Steve Backshall has called in specialist help. For the first time, he'll be working with a highly trained sniffer dog all the way from the States.
Hi, Bruiser. This guy here, he's our best chance of finding tigers.
Justine Evans is a leading BBC wildlife camerawoman. She has 20 years' experience and eyes like a hawk. If tigers are here, she'll spot them.
We're just going to throw some time at it, and we've got all the cameras, day, night, thermal, everything. We're just going to see what we can get.
Oh! Look at that!
Oxford University biologist Dr. George McGavin is the only person not looking for tigers. But his job is just as vital.
My role is to assess the health of the forest, to see if it's a fit place for a tiger to be.
Head of the expedition, Dr. Alan Rabinowitz, has dedicated his life to saving the tiger.
The tiger is the largest cat in the world. It's one of the most magnificent species to ever walk the face of our earth. To even think that it could be lost from this earth in our lifetime or shortly after, to me, is just an unthinkable thought. It's just unthinkable.
But over the last century, 98% of tigers have been lost. The last of them are trapped in isolated areas where they and their prey have become easy targets for poachers. Wild tigers need space. Without it, they rapidly die out. The best hope lies with the small populations clinging to existence along the edge of the Himalayas.
The solution I have for saving tigers is to connect these isolated populations through corridors, through linkages in the landscape, so that genetically, biologically, these animals could move between isolated fragments, and thus the isolated fragments become part of a larger whole.
Bhutan is the missing link. Alan's plan can only succeed if there's a flourishing population of tigers here, something not even he knows.
Bhutan is the last country left in the world throughout Tiger Range that we have not had really good systematic studies of tigers done. But we have no idea how many tigers are in the country, where they exist, and yet where Bhutan is situated is critically important if we're going to save tigers.
What are the first things that we need to get doing?
We have to go out and find tiger evidence. Their pug marks, their tracks, their scrapes, their sprays, and by setting up camera traps. I can put the pieces of the puzzle together, but you have to give me those pieces.
Steve will be on the case with big cat scientist Claudia Volch and her dog, Bruiser.
I'm quite looking forward to working with Bruiser. This is the first time that I've gone out looking for animals using a dog. It seems like quite a strange way of doing things. But he does have a remarkable sense of smell. He's going to be able to pick up things that we would never have a chance to find. And all the evidence that he manages to bring in is going to be incredibly valuable for learning what's going on in this area.
Camerawoman Justine Evans will try a different tack. She's going to stake out tigers from the top of a very tall tree.
We're loading up the elephants to go out to a big dry riverbed. Oopsie. It's a bit slow with the elephants, but they carry all the weight.
Along with her daily essentials, she's taking 4 specialist cameras to spot tigers day and night.
This is the first time I've had to saddle up an elephant. I hadn't actually thought about the logistics. Luckily, I brought a few bungee cords along. Never go anywhere without bungee cords.
We want a tiger. Just a fleeting glimpse in the bushes. Good luck. Good hunting.
Justine will have to keep her wits about her. She's a long way from medical help, and no one knows what dangerous creatures lurk in this forest. Steve and Claudia are also treading carefully.
Oh, what was that?
Hey, come here. Rosa, come on.
Very clear elephant tusk driven up into there, look. A little bit nerve-wracking to think of an animal that powerful just wandering around the forest. Could walk round a corner and they could be right there in front of us.
there's no choice. The only trails through the forest are the ones made by wild elephants. They keep Bruiser close. He's one of a few dogs trained to find big cats, and he does it by sniffing out their droppings, or scats.
Bruiser's just coursing ahead of us with his nose down close to the ground, searching out those scents. I'm really just hoping that we'll come across a scat that is definitive, that, you know, you have to say is going to be a tiger.
Bruiser can sniff out even the tiniest remains of a cat scat. Steve and Claudia have to work out which species it belongs to.
Oh, look what he's found.
What did you find? Such a good boy, Bruiser, come down.
Bruiser's rewarded with his favourite toy.
Boy, good boy. Good boy, Bruiser.
Well, that's absolutely full of interesting stuff. Lots of little feathers here. In fact, most of what I can see looks like bird to me. What do you think?
Could be clouded leopard.
Clouded leopard, yeah, absolutely. This isn't tiger scat, you can say that for 100% certainty. But, you know, it could be from a leopard or a clouded leopard, both of which are pretty exciting for us.
Ah, Broody.
Bruiser's on great form. But evidence that tigers live here might be harder to find. Tigers are one of the most elusive animals on the planet. The team will have to use a variety of methods to track them down. Alan's placing remote video cameras on trails made by wild animals. He hopes that tigers are using them. Anything passing in front of the camera will trigger a 10-second recording.
I have high hopes for this one.
For Alan, the stakes could not be higher. After 20 years trying to save the tiger, this could be his last crusade. He has an incurable form of leukemia.
I don't think about it all the time, and yet it's always there all the time. It gives a sense of urgency to my life. That there were times before I was diagnosed with leukemia that I thought, okay, you know, I'm getting older, probably 10 years or so, I'll slow down. There is no slowing down. There's only speeding up now, because I don't have the time and the tigers don't have the time.
With as few as 3,000 left, any wild tiger the team finds in Bhutan would be a precious discovery. Alan knows from experience that even though the forest looks promising, it's far from certain tigers have a future here.
The health of the forest is everything. In the past, people thought if there's forest, it's good potential tiger habitat, there must be tigers in there. Unfortunately, it took us quite a few years to realize just what the forest looks like is not enough. You need to look at everything. You need to look at the birds, you need to look at the insects, you need to look at the whole chain of life through that forest and say this is truly an intact system.
In charge of this forest health check is Dr. George McGavin, aided by a team of local scientists. Rebecca Pradhan and Sewang Norbu will rig mist nets to catch and record the birds of the forest.
This net is mainly for the small and the medium size of birds.
Dr. Kashmira Kakati is an expert on smaller jungle cats. She'll carefully position her remote cameras to discover which species live here.
It's like a really big, exciting treasure hunt in the forest. You go put these things out, and when you're picking them up, you're just waiting to see what you've got.